This is a video on the topic of variable acceleration, which is where you convert between displacement, velocity, and acceleration. So it's giving you an equation for velocity, and part A is asking you to find the distance traveled in the first second. So to go from velocity to displacement, we integrate. So I've labeled this little diagram here. That's what I used to use actually to remember it. I used to draw this like on the corner of the exam, that whenever you go to the right, you differentiate. Whenever you go to the left, you're integrating. So here we're going from velocity to displacement, so we're integrating. So if we integrate 12 minus 2t squared, integrating 12 is 12t. Here you add 1 to the power and you divide by the new power of 3. And then there is a plus c involved, but you're essentially integrating between the first second and the and when t equals 0, because that will give you the distance traveled between 0 seconds and 1 second in the first second. So when you put the upper limit into this integral, that's 12 times 1, which is 12, minus 2 times 1 cubed, which is 2 over 3. And you take away from that what you get when you put the lower limit into this whole expression, which is just 0. Now 12 take away 2 over 3. Well, 12, we can rewrite that as a fraction over 3 to make it easy to subtract, which is 36 over 3, because 36 divided by 3 is 12. 36 take away 2 is 34, so the final answer is 34 over 3. That's the number of meters traveled in the first second. Let's change colors and move on to part B of this question. The value of t when p changes direction of motion. Now, what does that mean? Let's think about a ball hitting a wall and rebounding off. So let's say it hits a wall at a speed of, let's say, 2 meters per second. And then the speed when it bounces back is less, 1 meters per second, let's say. Are the velocities also 2 and 1? They're actually not, because these are moving in opposite directions. Velocity is a vector, so it takes into account the direction. Meaning if you take the velocity as positive in one direction, it has to be negative in the opposite direction. It doesn't matter which one you take positive as long as the opposite one is negative, if that makes sense. So when it changes direction of motion is when the velocity is 0 before it goes from positive to negative, if that makes sense. So we set velocity 0. We say that 12 minus 2t squared is equal to 0. Let's solve that by first adding 2t squared to both sides. So 2t squared equals 12. Divide both sides by 2, so t squared is 6. And then square root both sides, so t is... Now when you square root, there's always a plus or minus answer. But here it doesn't make sense to take into account the negative answer, because time can't be negative. So when t is equal to root 6, which is enough for the answer, but in your calculator that will give you a value of 2.45 seconds. That's everything you need to do for this question. Hopefully it made sense. If you have any questions with it, just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, like the video please, it'll mean a lot. And subscribe too. I'll post a new video every single day for you guys. I've linked my email in the description too, if you're interested in any tutoring inquiries. But if you're not, just feel free to view all my videos. I'll make playlists on my YouTube channel.